students, in this tutorial we're going to go ahead and create actually a new C# application. This is going to be a console application actually. So we are going to actually focus on the C# programming language. So now at the top just click on file and then click on new and then click on project. So it's going to actually open a window for us here. So choose a template and inside the template just expand the templates here and you can see the Visual C#, right? And then click on classic desktop here, just open the windows and then click on classic desktop and then click on console application. This is very important because we want to focus mainly on the C# programming language. And then later I will actually talk more about the user interface. For now just focus on the C#, and the name is going to be introduction to C#. And you can specify the location and the solution name and create a directory for your solution. So just click on OK here. So it's going to actually create the project for us. So now the project is actually created and this is going to be a console based application. So you can see that we have a class called program here and you can see these curly braces here. So these curly braces is actually called the body of this class. This class is actually opened and closed here by using these curly braces, an opening curly brace followed by a closing curly brace, right? This is the body of this class called program. So in order to create a class, I'll talk more about classes later, but here as you can see, first we have the name, actually a namespace introduction to C#, right? And then we have the class. And then we have the main method here. This is called a method. So I'll talk more about methods later. For now, we just want to actually just output something to the console, right? This is the main method, static void. Don't worry about these keywords. I'll talk more about them later. And this is the name of the method. And this is actually the arguments of the method. So args stands for arguments. And here you can see this string here. Don't worry about these types. And you can see that this method is actually opened and closed by using these curly braces, an opening curly brace followed by a closing curly brace, right? So now inside this method, I can actually just type in, for example, console. So here just type in console. So as you can see, I am actually referring to the console class. So make sure that your console is actually with the capital C, right? And here you can see the documentation is actually a little bit of a description about this console class. So it says class system.console, right? So this means that the console is actually part of the system namespace. So I'll talk more about this namespace later. So look at this description. It says represents the standard input, output, and error streams for console applications. This class cannot be inherited. So I'll talk more about inheritance later. And it says a console is a type which is not valid in the given context. So look at this console here. So console dot. So we can actually access the methods or properties of the console class by using the dot notation, the dot operator. This is actually called a dot operator or dot notation. So I can say console dot, for example, write. So with capital W here, write line. And then I put a pair of parentheses here, and inside the parentheses I want to actually use a string value. I want to create a string value. So I'll talk more about strings later. For now just put two double quotes here, okay? And it says writes the text representation of the specified boolean value. So don't worry about these descriptions here. For now inside the codes you can just type in, for example, this is my first console application, exclamation mark, semicolon. At the end of your statements always you must put the semicolon, otherwise it's going to actually show us an error and we cannot actually continue compiling this application. Look at this red line here. It says if I actually hover my mouse pointer over this red area here, it says semicolon expected. So I need to put a semicolon at the end of my statement.